Parliament has raised the ceiling of borrowing for the government of St. Lucia. Tuesday, the House approved an amendment to the National Savings and Development Bonds Act to increase the level of bonds government can issue. The level was raised from 1.4 billion to 1.8 billion. Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Dr. Kenny Anthony, told the House this was necessary to meet the cost of land acquisitions by government.
Two in particular stands out. The first, of course, is the Roebuck Properties debacle. We have to pay off the reacquisition of that land. Is going to come to a face value initially of some $32 million. That is to say, the land only. In one instance, and rather than having to try and find $32 million in cash to pay the bank in that question, the government of St. Lucia has offered to pay the receiver by way of bonds.
Dr. Anthony said the same was done a few weeks ago with a Jamaican insurance company for land in the Canals area.
The former government of St. Lucia also acquired some land from the estate of Marie Anne Cecilia Francis. The actual face value of that was $13 million. Land acquired again in the Canals area to facilitate the investment by Roebuck. The face value of that was about $13.5 million. Part of the problem with these acquisitions, as you know, is that the law provides for interest rate to be paid at a rate of 6% from the date of acquisition. The interest rate has arisen significantly, that rate probably is over $210,000. Given the fiscal constraints that the government is facing to find cash to pay off these landowners, the government of St. Lucia has entered into negotiations with the attorneys representing that landowner, and I think basically it has been agreed that the landowner would accept bonds in payment of the outstanding liability, and that of course is in the amount of $13.5 million. So the government is looking forward to the increase in the authority to raise the limits of the bonds for by another $400 million to meet these payments, as well as I indicated, to meet new investment in St. Lucia by the issuance of bonds.
The issuance of bonds is one means used by government to raise money for development projects.
And our laws provide for a ceiling legal limit on bonds issued by the government of St. Lucia. I refer, of course, to the legislation contained in the National Savings and Development Bond Act, Cap 1525. And under that act, it is for Parliament to authorize the Minister for Finance under the authority of a resolution to raise by the issue of savings bonds inside and outside St. Lucia money up to a certain amount. Currently it is 1.4 billion, and we are seeking the authority of Parliament to raise that to $1.8 billion. It is well known, Mr. Speaker, that as we approach, particularly as we approach the budget season, the government of St. Lucia would want to finance its budget by way of bonds, and latitude is required